There it
That'd be
is.
good.
Hey guys, it's Alex O'Neill here. I have with me Jarrett and Jacob, my J brethren,
Hello.
to talk about the Wolf, because we have to play
It's
some
a
catch up.
doubleheader.
Double
Yeah.
feature.
Double feature Fantastico, as I don't know what I labeled this
Fantastico.
video as. It was something really long and obnoxious. So The Walking Dead Season 2, Episode 3 came out recently, and so did The Wolf Among Us Season 1, Episode 4. I actually got it right that time.
There
Or
you
just
go.
The Wolf Among
Yeah.
Us Episode 4. I don't think there'll be Season 2, but I can hope.
You never know.
So we're gonna spoil both of those, as in talk about what we did and ruin it for people who haven't played it. So if you haven't played it, just go away. Just come back.
Stay here.
Spoil the shit out of it.
Yeah, or you know what? If you don't care,
Yeah. Save
can
your
stay.
$5. And
Yeah,
let us tell
I'll
you.
play it for you right now.
Yeah.
all right. So let's talk about Walking Dead. Jarrett liked this one. I liked this one.
I like this one.
Twist. Oh, yeah, Jacob liked it. I was kind of hoping that you fucking hated it with all of your fury.
That'd be
It
awesome.
wasn't.
That'd be so perfect.
No. I like
So Jarrett, why did you like? You wrote the review, so break it down for us.
I think this episode did what this series needs the most, and it's to give it focus. The first two episodes, I think one of the biggest problems I had was you were Clementine kind of just walking around doing stuff. Like, none of it was really all that interesting or important. I think more importantly, it was like interesting is more of a matter of opinion. There was nothing that you did that mattered really until the very end of the second episode, where finally the people you start to understand that maybe the people that were your friends aren't exactly as cool as they think they are, and Carver comes for them and going to take them back to meet their judgment. And you're like, what's this judgment? What does this mean? And all those questions were answered, and now as soon as you walk into the first opening minutes of episode 3, like, there's a purpose. You know this place sucks and you want to get out.
Yeah.
So that's like the game. Like, there's something to do, and the trials and tribulations to get there are things you actually have to be involved and actively interested in. And I think that's what this series needed.
Yeah. I agree. What about you, Jacob? What do you
I
think of
mean,
the episode
it's the
overall?
same thing like the other. I mean, I like the other ones just because I thought playing as Clementine was fun. But now there's like you've got some motivations to do something rather than survive, which is always surviving is always fun in the zombie game. But like you need something more. And now they've got like everyone gets to live at the end and all that stuff. So. And they had a villain. I was kind of. I'll get to the other stuff that I was kind of surprised that happened, but yeah, I liked it for the same reasons Jared did. It's some focus and some direction now.
Yeah, I don't know about you guys. So like when it opens
And
up,
surviving's...
Oh, go ahead, Jarrett.
I think we're having a lag here.
Yeah, some delay.
Surviving's fun in like a zombie game that you play, that like a Dead Rising, where you have to actually do something. But when it's a story-based game, like walking around eating cans of beans and not trying to get killed by dogs, like that's interesting for a second, but not really much after that. It's kind of about narrative. And this suffered, to me, because of the lack of narrative. And the sudden injection of a villain and like classic narrative tropes like made the entire situation a far better experience for me.
Yeah, I agree. Like I was saying, I don't know about you guys, but like when that first kind of scene happens, and you get out of the truck, and Carver's like, or you're going to the bathroom, or Sarah's going to the bathroom. Whoever the fuck is peeing in the woods? Somebody is peeing in trees, and. I don't know about you guys, but I gave Carver a little bit of sass, and he slapped me.
Yeah,
I'm like,
I got that too.
and
like,
I was
damn.
like, I know exactly how this episode is going to end. And it's with me watching you die. And that is what
How
happened.
it ended.
Yes.
And that was what set me up. That set up my entire arc for this entire episode, which was my
Watch him suffer.
beginning to end is to watch Carver die. The most horrible death ever. Mission success. Just by the way. But yeah, like that was like a really good cold open, kind of like just this weird, you're out of context and in just some random area, and a little bit of plot happens, and then something fucked happens, and then it's like, all right, I know what I'm doing. I know what I want to do.
Right.
Yep, I get it now. I understand now.
Yeah, and I really like that because like right from the get-go, me as the player and the character had that motivation, and that kind of strong opening really pushed me through the rest of the episode. And I don't know, this episode felt like the longest, I thought.
I think it was longer. I mean, maybe it just took me longer to do stuff, but yeah, I felt like it was longer too.
Yeah, it definitely.
I think just there was a lot more to do, so you had to actually go do things. That takes more time.
Yeah, as opposed to just walking around with, stroking your Vita and just
Right.
doing nothing.
That's a side joke we just dropped.
Take that, internet.
Monster Monpiece review forthcoming. But yeah, it was good. It was a strong direction. It was something I wanted to do. I felt like I wanted to play. I wanted to do something. I wanted to get out. And I thought like a lot of the characters that they introduced were actually compelling in like way more subtle ways, which none of the characters they had shown before were subtle at all. I thought, like the just the new guy that died like immediately. I forgot his name. The one-armed guy.
Yeah. Shit, what's his name?
That's why we did this one first, because we can't remember it.
Oops. It was so long ago that we played this. I don't know his name either.
But he showed up, and I actually kind of enjoyed him. He was like, he kind of reminded me of Omid a little bit, except like way more of a coward.
Yeah, and he was kind of like a normal dude. Like, he worked really hard not to fuck this up and go back inside and really hope that these people didn't fuck this up for him.
Yeah. It was...
For as much as I liked him, I really did kind of fuck him over, like, every chance.
It's kind of funny when you think about it.
Yeah.
But
I tried not to. I was like...
I didn't even think about it. I was like, I love this guy. He told me not to walk around, so the first thing I'm going to do is go pull on this fence.
I need to go touch all types of shit.
Yeah, what I felt bad was that I never really kind of let Bonnie know. Like, I never trusted Bonnie, even though I figured that maybe I probably could. Bonnie was probably all right, but I always kept saying, like, hey, listen, I just don't trust you. I don't know you. So, Reggie was his name.
Reggie
got iced.
Reggie got iced.
But yeah, like it starts strong. You're introduced to this fucking Home Depot / comic book store. I wasn't really sure.
Yeah,
It was.
I'm not sure what that place was. I was trying to figure that out too.
It was a shopping center. I think what they were like putting you in at the beginning when you were sectioned off was like the garden center after it had been completely taken apart. That's what it kind of felt like.
Yeah. See that.
And there was like a greenhouse on the roof of the building. So I guess I just assumed it was some kind of warehouse store like Home Depot, as opposed to something like BJ's. I don't know. BJ's is the local brand. I don't know if people know what BJ's is.
It's like a Costco.
BJ's is Costco, Sam's Club, whatever. They're all the same thing, just with different names. And
Yes.
BJ's, that's the best name. So
It does.
for
obvious reasons.
For obvious reasons. But yeah, like so you're kind of like thrust into it, and you're in that camp. And how did you guys feel about? I'll go even before then. How did you guys feel about that truck scene with Kenny? Were you guys like with Kenny the whole time until he just fucking falls on his face? It's like, well.
Yeah, that was weird. I didn't like that when it's just like, oh, what hit him? And it's like, oh, okay, so that happened.
That was really funny. I laughed out loud when that happened. I felt like, man, I really shouldn't be laughing at this. But
Yeah, I didn't. For as much as I loved Kenny, I didn't because I didn't like how Kenny was in the last episode.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like after that scene, and after he got, clumsied and fell and not hit his head, I felt like he became more like the Kenny that I was used to being around for the rest of the episode. And I was like, this is the Kenny I kind of remember. I mean, you're a little more violent and fucked up. But
Hey, obviously something's happened.
Yeah.
You got that
Yeah.
faraway look in your eye.
yeah.
Yeah, and like with me, it was like there was this moment of hesitancy when he's like, "We gotta do something," And then someone was like, Alvin's dead because of you. And he's like, shut up. And then there was like a really awkward silence. And then he looked at me. He's like, you're with me still, aren't you, Clem? I'm like, yeah. And I was like really hesitant about it. But I was like, man, Kenny doesn't have a lot of friends right now. I'm friends with Kenny. I was trying to put myself in the shoes of a small child. But yeah, that scene was interesting. Did you stick by Kenny, Jared, or were like, fuck man, this guy's crazy?
No, I was like, Kenny, don't get us all killed.
Yeah,
I did a good job not getting Alvin killed, so I was like, we can probably make it. If I agree with you, I'm going to somehow get into your head that you need to jump out of this truck and hit the first person you see and get us all shot. Don't do this to us, Kenny.
Yeah, like after I had said I would help him. And he was like, just don't put yourself in harm's way. If shit gets bad, just put your head down and get out of the way. And I'm like, okay, man, somebody's probably gonna die because I just did this. I'm so happy that Kenny just face planted right from the get-go.
Yeah, what a weird way to end the scene, though. I was just like, oh, okay, what happened? Oh, he just hit his head and fell over.
I felt like that was the most
shit.
egregious, like, telltale video game moment of, like, they were just hyping you up for nothing just to see what you would say to somebody. Like, that was all it was. And then that person is going to treat you differently for the rest of the episode because of that, even though nothing ended up happening.
Yeah.
Even though he really needs to be upset that he had a fucking Looney Tunes breakdown in the middle of the truck when everyone needed him.
Yeah, pretty much. It was... That was, like, the most egregious telltale moment, but there was none of that for the rest of the episode, which I was kind of happy with. I had something prepared. Like, I had a point I was going to jump into. It was going to be great. Okay, I remember now.
Great.
There it is.
What did Alvin do this episode? Because he's dead. So
had a cool scene at the end.
Okay.
He does. Most of the episode, though, he's in a chair getting beat up by dudes.
Fuck beat out of him by Carver.
God damn it.
Yeah,
well,
he
I mean...
sits up there, yeah. But yeah, he does. I liked it. I mean, I don't know about you, Jared, but I thought his scene at the very end was really cool.
I thought it was cool in retrospect as it was happening because you go into the office that he's in to broadcast the signal and everything, and he has the gun and he's like, "Don't worry, Clem, I got this." And immediately after he says that, like a dude runs, just a guy. It makes you seem like he has the gun waiting for Carver. He's going to shoot him himself. But just random dude shows up and he shoots him and gets killed anyway.
He pulls the gun out of Carver's desk and it's like an old single shot small ass pistol. And he's like, I got this. And I was like, that just got one bullet in it. You're going to die.
You got one dude and that's it.
And he gets shot before he even shoots it.
And by the most random ass dude ever. Like, I've never seen this guy before. He just runs in with a gun, and it's like, well, Alvin's sitting there, fuck that guy, shoots him. And Alvin's like, I'm shot, gets upset that he just let that happen, shoots him back, and they just both die. And Clem's like, gets the nod of like approval, and just walks away.
Yeah, he just nods at his dead body, and I was like, Clem, you just...
I was like, way to go, Alvin, there you go.
Missed this. That's so great.
Yeah. You get. I mean, he goes out like a fucking champion in this episode. He went out like a shitty, expendable character in your game.
That's so great. All right, so Alvin doesn't matter. He continues to
he doesn't matter anyway, but it's good to watch.
So when that sounds great. I'm gonna have to look at this. Oh, my roommate hasn't played it yet. He has Alvin alive, so I get to see that.
Yeah,
I'm so excited. So when you are dragged into Carver's office, when Carver creepy to you, is Alvin just kind of like sitting there?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just over in the corner bleeding, and that's it.
He makes a gesture at him or something like that, and you look over and you're like, oh.
Yeah, he doesn't... Yeah, like, right when you get off the truck, they're like, Alvin, you gotta come with us, man. And I was like, alright, later, Alvin. Probably never see you again.
Yeah, it's over, buddy. Sorry.
Yeah. And then you see him bloody in a chair, and then you go to turn on the thing. You try and wake him up, but he doesn't. And then you turn on the music, and he's just standing behind you. Just beat to shit. And he's like, don't worry, Clem. I'll stay here and shoot off all these enemies with my one-bullet gun.
See,
and you're like, I know you're going to stand there, Alvin, because you can't fucking move.
Yeah. I took the gun out of his desk. Like, I took that as Clementine.
So you have
my
it
gun
still?
now. Yeah, I believe so.
Oh, see, see, that sounds even cooler. I wanted a gun, a single
Uh,
shot, like a little.
Well, I mean, I think you get another gun too, where you take somebody's gun. I don't know.
Maybe. I'm sure.
The end of that episode happened really quickly, and it was a
Yeah.
long time ago.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And by that I mean like 3 weeks, but still.
That's a long time.
Yeah. I have a summary up just for reference, like if we ever lose ourselves.
Okay.
So, I guess we'll get back on track then. How did you feel about just kind of walking around the complex and kind of getting introduced to all these things, and then you see, I don't know what you guys had as results from 400 Days. You guys probably don't remember at this point, but I had everybody but one at join Tavia, so we get to see Tavia again.
I had everyone make it in my game.
So I saw the two sisters arguing with one another.
Yep, I saw them too. Becca and is that her name? And someone else?
I don't remember their name yet.
Because-
Yeah.
Didn't matter.
Apparently, if you get Wyatt, you get to see Wyatt as well.
Yep, I saw Wyatt too. He just kind of walks by and he's like, "Hey kid, don't be walking around by yourself."
See, I
was
didn't
like,
see
okay.
Wyatt, so
And then that's all you do. I mean, I thought they would play more
Shell
of
and
a
Becca.
yeah. I thought they would play more of a role, kind of like what's her name did? I forget her name. The one that actually is
Bonnie?
around Bonnie, yeah. But the other ones, they don't show up hardly at all.
Yeah, Shell and Becca, the two sisters, I saw them arguing with one another. Or they were talking about Clementine and Sarah. And you can see Wyatt. And you can also see Vince.
Yeah, doesn't she? He talks to Tavia about smoking. I think when you're trying to sneak in and steal a radio. Is that him? Or was that?
Yeah, it says
I think so. Yeah.
if it says if you're able to get Vince to the group in 400 days, he will be seen now telling Tavia she cannot smoke in there. From the dialogue, it can be inferred that he was reprimanded before. He does not want to, and he doesn't want that to happen again. So I didn't see Vince, and it says if you were able to get Russell in the group for 400 days, you can see him toward the end of the episode. And apparently, it looks like Clementine's like running past him. I didn't see Russell. I guess I missed it.
Yeah, I missed it too, but I had everyone alive, so I'm sure I saw.
So it looks like everybody from 400 Days shows up in some regard. We should get to him in this episode.
Sorry.
You're fine. So yeah, that was interesting. I still wonder if that's gonna play at all into the outcome of this season. I guess we'll find out soon enough.
I kind of
But-
hope they show up again. Be kind
Yeah.
of weird if like that was all that they were there for.
It's just a weird cameo.
Yeah.
That's kind of it.
I
Yeah,
like
because
some of the
I really like
characters.
the group of characters.
Mhm.
I like to see them interact because you don't actually really get to see them interact with one another. Let's see. After you kind of get introduced to the group, you're walking around. Yeah, I was gonna say, what did you guys think of the compound that they kind of set up? This like weird autocracy that they have going here.
It's rather elaborate
Yeah,
for a bunch of dudes just kind of surviving.
yeah. They had like the storefronts of all the adjacent stores kind of like walled in, so you could walk between them safely, which was smart because then you can get to other areas. It was a well put together place, for like a Lowe's or whatever.
Yeah.
It's a different store every time.
Yeah.
It was interesting to see. Like I really liked the environment for this. Like I like that you kind of get this feel of a hierarchy, maybe not necessarily sexist, but at least a little bit. Because like Bonnie's like she mentioned something about women's work at some point, if I remember correctly, and then you're sitting there loading up magazines for guns. Yeah, they set up a good scene with this, until everything gets fucked. But so I guess we'll start moving on to the major decisions. Let's talk about Sarah, guys.
Ugh,
Everybody's favorite character.
that's not
I was pretty excited about that scene.
This whole
I was
episode
like,
is
holy
pretty
shit.
much about Sarah. So, were you guys trying to help Sarah? Were you not?
What's weird is I did eventually. I wasn't going to, but the events that took place between her dad and Carver and her. I was like, she's not ready for what's like about to happen.
Fuck no.
And it's only gonna get worse. So let me like help her with her shit, or it's gonna get real bad.
Yeah, it was weird. It was like I don't know when you get in the greenhouse and you're seeing like fucking bummed out Sarah because Carver's a sociopath that just made her dad smack the shit out
I was
of
like,
her.
holy shit.
Like
Deep down, and I was like, I think she needs this, but
Oh,
I
absolutely.
didn't really want it to happen that way, I guess.
But like and like I'm saying this jokingly, but also like totally seriously. When her dad like smacks the shit out of her, you could get like that he kind of wanted to just.
He was like, thank you.
Yeah.
A little bit, like inside.
just like a little bit, very minimal, but like he hit her fucking hard.
Like not because he wanted to hit her, but to like teach her to like you can't talk when the boss is here.
Like you
And it's
can't
only
fuck
gonna
around
be
here.
worse if you let him do it.
Yeah. Like, because he's talking to fucking Squinty-Eyed Joe over there that looks like he's from the Beverly Hills show where they get struck oil or whatnot. I forget the name of it. And he's like sitting there, he's like, I'll just have this guy smack the shit out of you if your dad does. And I'm like, what the fuck is this
And that
place?
dude like really wants to. He's like super pumped about it.
Yeah, like he
That
looks
guy
like
gave me
smacking
a
the shit out of her.
horrible
That
Is like,
dude is a pedophile.
He is a pedophile.
he is a rapist as well. Like,
Yes.
full on.
he is completely. Yeah, he's snapped.
That guy, like, you could just see, like, his, like, crazy eyes. And, oh, God, yeah, no, that, I don't even remember his name. Troy. Troy is
Troy,
his
that's
name.
it.
Yeah, he's
Fucking, he
he's
just
fucked
sounds
up.
like a motherfucker, too. But, yeah. That guy, he's real dead as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a lot.
he-
And I was
he's
excited
a
about
lot.
that too.
Yeah, I got real pumped when he was real dead. But yeah, like Sarah gets this shit slapped out of her, and then you're sitting in the greenhouse, and Reggie's like, "Guys, don't fuck this up for me, please."
Yeah, I'm gonna go
And-
pull on the fence for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Pretty much. So, did you guys help Sarah, or did you just like, hey, fuck Sarah? She's sitting over there with her sad eyes and her hedge clippers or whatever the hell she had.
Yeah. I helped her.
Um,
If she wouldn't have got the fuck hit out of her, then I wouldn't have helped her. But because she did, I was
Exactly.
like,
That's what put it in context for me. I was
Yeah.
like, this is gonna. Obviously, now she's supposed to have learned something in Carver's head. So if she fucks this up again, it's only gonna get worse.
She didn't learn anything though, because she
No.
thought her dad wanted to hit her, and I was like,
She
"Oh no,
fucking
you
knew
idiot!
it.
You idiot. Yeah."
Because she didn't. She missed the part where Carver said hit her because gave her the reason why
Yeah.
right in front of her, and she just took it the complete wrong way.
Yeah,
I mean, there's no
don't-
good way to take it, I guess, but
I don't know about you guys, but every time like Carver was like, "Who the fuck said something?" or whatever, I as Clementine would just walk up and say, "It was me." Another excuse up because I wanted him to hit me again because that would just make watching him die so much better. But that would like I got in a really dark place when I was playing this episode. I'm just gonna let you guys know. I was really surprised how much I enjoyed the ending scene when you see Carver's just face explode. I was like really into it.
that scene had twists and turns, like in and of itself. I was like, wow, this is getting worse.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like, yeah, I helped Sarah. I didn't want to. I literally was like, fuck. I don't know what happened if she didn't get helped, but I felt too bad. So then Reggie was all like, "Hey man," because he has that weird friendly tone. Hey
Yeah.
man.
Hey, man.
You didn't do any of your work, and then they lock themselves in the green room. Carver locks themselves in the green room, and this is like, is he gonna die in there or out here? That was
Yeah,
that was
that's,
where
that's the choice.
because like Carver was obviously gonna kill him regardless, but then he just fucking kicks him off of the building.
Throws him over the. Yeah. Yikes. He dead.
And then,
You did.
and then like that scene where you're back on the floor just like looking out and you just see like his face like splattered everywhere, like his head twisted around, and you're like, Jesus fucking Christ.
What was Reggie doing in the green room?
In the green, he was like
Cutting
clipping the
berries or
blueberries.
something? Yeah, he
I
was doing
don't
something.
remember because I was always thinking like, why couldn't he have like helped her?
Or why didn't he?
Because he had
check in,
one
like,
arm,
the
Jared.
hour?
Way to be insensitive, Jesus.
He got 2
Whatever.
eyes,
This little
though.
girl is gonna get raped by Troy.
Yeah.
If he doesn't do something right now.
True. Yeah, nah, it was weird, like, the whole... When they showed up, and I'm like, oh, shit, he has one arm, and then everyone else was like, oh, shit, you have
Yeah,
one arm
I was
now.
like, oh, that's even worse. He didn't have one arm the last time they saw him.
Oh, no! I was convinced Carver had cut off his arm, although he swears he didn't. So I guess, like, after that, you're kind of, you start the escape plan after we see what's-his-face get kicked off the building, because you're going to check on Kenny... and Jarrett, who is in this episode, by the way, that black guy was
Yeah,
totally
he was just
Jarrett.
just creeped up on the bed. I can do that.
Mike. The character
Mike,
Mike
yeah.
was actually Jarrett. I'm like, he sounds a little bit like him. They look identical, and I'm
Just
not
going to sleep.
racist. Like, oh, one fucked up ear. I want to know what's
Yeah, what happened there? I don't know.
Be a nice backstory, I'm sure. That'll be season 3.
interesting stuff.
What happened to Mike's ear?
Yeah, all motion
That's
capture.
a whole
and voice
sub-arc.
acted
The
by
first time,
Jarrett
yeah.
Green.
Yep. I got a call from Telltale today.
Yep.
Yeah, the first time. Did you like all the other new characters introduced? I thought Jane was Molly from season 1 the first time I saw her with her back to me, just like hair much shorter.
There's a moment where I would have believed that.
Yeah, I like her character. I like Jane a lot too.
Yeah,
seems
she
a
like I
badass.
said, I liked all of the new characters. I liked Reggie, I liked Mike, I liked Jane. They were all interesting because like I didn't know everything about them. I didn't know exactly what kind of character type they were right from the get-go, which was exciting to be like, oh, there's some like when Jane kind of has her scene at the end with Troy, like this is like, oh, this is the kind of person this is, and that is the kind of person I would like to be
Yeah,
around.
and I was like,
in
there's
the zombie
Clementine's
apocalypse.
role model.
Right.
Yeah,
That's
right?
that's the weird thing about Jane though. Is Jane seems like she's the mysterious one because she doesn't say much.
Mhm.
Like the first third, like 3 or 4 of the game, she really says nothing until you're gonna spring out, and then she's part of the plan now. Then she encounters Troy, has like that weird fake tender moment, then shoots him in his dick, and you're like, I don't know what to feel about you anymore, but I like it.
Yeah, right. It was
Because
like,
I thought you were something, then I thought you were something else for like 30 seconds, and then no, you're actually what I thought you were, but better now.
yeah, it's exciting because it's like she's a wild card, and the
Right.
wild cards are always the most interesting characters in like a zombie apocalypse. Like Carver, for example, when he's just walking around telling people to smack the shit out of their kids. Like that's interesting,
But-
if not real fucked.
He's kind of a wild card if you've never seen a Mike Madsen movie.
Well, I haven't, so
Well-
I'm depraved.
Then you're deprived. If you've ever seen Mike Madsen on a movie, you're like, this is exactly who I want him to be. He's a dude who slaps children, and that's how it is.
Yeah, I feel like I might have, but not anywhere in recent memories. So this was all like new or coming back to me as like.
I bet
oh,
you'd recognize him if you saw him.
Yeah, probably. All right, so we're trying to spring out. You get pulled into a comic book store because Pedo Luke is all like,
Oh, okay.
"Hey."
You mean super awesome character Luke?
So Luke did not abandon you. You win this one, Jacob.
Did we really ever think he would? No.
I was kind of hoping he would. I was kind of hoping he would just disappear for a full episode and then show up again and act like nothing happened.
In the 5th episode, as like on the white horse.
Yeah, like Gandalf.
Like he would either Gandalf in, or in the 5th episode he would be the sedan guy and just be like, "I've always loved you, Clementine."
Yikes! No. I was
Now
right
I'm
about
gonna
him
find-
coming back. I'm for sure right about him not being a.
I found gas. I found a sedan. I found it all for you, man.
He's got
All
like
for you, Clementine.
he's got like Pete's head in a bowling ball bag.
I got lollipops.
You left him down by the river and he got eaten, but I found his
I
head.
found his head. The 3 of us can live together forever.
Oh
God, why
didn't that happen?
There's still time.
There's still time.
There's still time. He can disappear all through episode 4 and come back.
Again, Luke's just the disappearing man.
He's a perfect guardian angel.
So Luke shows up, and were you guys like real worried because he was very pale and looked
Yeah,
real
I thought he
fucked
got
up?
bit, and I was like, you son of a bitch.
I was convinced he was bit, and then when I would come back the next day, he would just eat me.
Yeah.
That's what I thought too. Did
That's
you
what
get
he
to?
wanted
Did
the
you get
whole
that much
time.
time to search the place? I kind of dicked around and I didn't even get back to his bed before someone came.
Oh,
in
I didn't
and
even
caught
know
me.
he had a bed in there. So.
Yeah, yeah. He has like
Yeah.
a little mattress at least, or like a sleeping bag type thing in the back.
Is he still there?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, no, like so he comes in, he's like, hey, just steal one of the radio things. We're gonna lure this horde that's gonna hit here anyway. We're gonna make them pissed off, and then we're gonna sneak out in the craziness, which is the plan, which is a good plan. I don't care what the rest of this camp says. Like, that's your best shot.
Yeah, that's like the only plan. So
Yeah, killing zombies is easier than killing people, so you got to stick with this one, I think. So you disappear and you come back and you go back to the camp and they're all like talking about ways to get out. And then I was kind of worried about sharing that I saw Luke because I didn't know if everyone else knew, but everyone else knew. It was fine.
Yeah, everyone already knew. I thought it was like, I'm the only one who knows. I'm going to tell everyone. They're going to be all excited. And they're like, oh, he somehow made it all throughout the compound without
yeah,
being
he
seen.
sent us all letters or something.
Yeah.
Like, just
And
we all
then he
know
gets
that.
fucking caught getting food later on. What's up with that? That's the first time I was unimpressed by all things Luke. When he got caught.
The first
I'm
time-
actually glad he was caught because it wouldn't make sense that everybody knew he was there. All people who were in different places of the compound knew he was there except the guards.
Yeah.
That wouldn't make sense.
Yeah, that was definitely weird. But yeah, then you kind of get the idea of whether or not. Well, what is Kenny's plan? Kenny wants to do something else. Or no, Kenny wants to lure the horde, and what's her face wants to do something else.
Yeah, fuck. Is it a pregnant chick?
Pregnant chick, yeah.
Yeah.
She wants to wait it out or
yeah,
something.
she wants to wait until things are clear.
Yeah. Which, shut up.
Yeah, no one. I've hated you since the second you said hello, or you didn't say hello to me. You were a huge B to me, so I
Right,
hated you
and
since
now
that
and now you can just actually eat a dick all the time.
All of it. Yeah, no, it's... So that happens, and then I was like, let's do both plans. Or let's lure the horde, set off the alarm, and peace the fuck out, and whatever. There was like a twofer to the plan. So then you become Clementine 007 and like lift yourself up onto the roof and sneak in, steal some walkie-talkies like a
Which was-
badass.
Weirdly easy for
Yes,
Yeah.
oddly really easy.
Which, from a gameplay perspective, I appreciate, because if they had like this shitty stealth section that you could fuck up and then nothing ever happens, that would suck. So
Yeah.
you get the walkie-talkies and then Luke gets caught and you're like, well, fuck. Because like Jacob was saying, you go explore his comic book den and, weirdly enough, he's disappeared. And yeah, then Luke gets caught and fucking... Kenny gets the face beat off of him.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fucking bad for saving my ass, and that's when I was like, "This is the Kenny I know." When I was like, I stepped forward to like be like, "I got the walkie."
Yeah, and then he
put
snatched
his hand, and I was like, "Oh, Kenny, that's my man."
So then you get the options of restrain Sarita to help Kenny or do nothing. I restrained Sarita.
Oh, I went right for my boy. I went right for Kenny. Got
What
clocked.
happened? Oh,
I get you get clocked by Troy, right?
You run off the line to do something, and Troy's like waiting for you.
Yeah, he hits you with the gun.
Hits you with the gun,
he
and I
hits
was
you
like,
with the butt
"Holy
of the
shit!"
gun and just knocks you out.
And just down. I was like, "All right, well, fuck that, I guess."
yeah. It was, he was just waiting for an opportunity. Obviously, he's been working
To
up to
knock her out,
this.
take her back to the cave.
Take him back to the Troy cave.
Yikes!
But
I
yeah, Kenny just gets his face inside of his
Yeah.
body.
I didn't think he was gonna make it, but now
That
he
was
looks like
that was such a great moment. Though.
Now he looks like a badass.
yeah, he's got the
But
governor look going on.
Yeah, he does.
A little bit, yeah.
That's how this. That's how this season ends. It has to end with Kenny becoming the villain.
He becomes the governor. He's like, "You know what? I'm not going to leave, guys. I'm going to set up shop here."
It has to be like, come on. He's got the eye patch now. He came back. Now
Is everyone who has an eye patch a bad guy? Always? Does it just happen that way?
Yes.
Kill me. It just does happen. Nothing happens to her. Because you're the one that gets beat in the face. Because I helped restrain Sarita at some point, and then she still gets away, but she only gets hit once in the face. So I imagine if you just choose the do nothing option. I'm looking actually at this Wikipedia page. It says, do nothing. Clementine will do nothing. Sarita breaks free and will run to aid Kenny. Immediately, Troy will hit her in the face, attempting to stop her, giving her a cut. Bonnie arrives and says the same thing. Okay. Okay, that happens if you restrain her or if you do nothing. So there you go. But yeah, that was intense. I don't know about you guys, but I was real uncomfortable during that scene when he just kept
I was like,
going.
is Kenny gonna die? Is this?
Yeah, I thought he
is our
was,
only
too.
shot at getting out of this motherfucker? Gonna about to die right now?
Yeah, I liked the kind of weird scene where there's a moment when you're sitting around the fire afterwards where Bonnie's like, I'm gonna get you guys out tonight, and there's a moment where you're like, maybe some of us should stay behind.
And Luke's like, maybe we should leave him. I'm like, you shut the fuck up, Luke.
Yeah,
Like
even
that-
I was like, I stood up and I was like, Luke, we're not leaving.
What I said was like, if Kenny stays, I stay, and then we'll get out of here on our own fucking terms, is what I said to him. But then Kenny, gets up like the
champion
solid
that he
snake
is.
he is.
Yeah. He's like, no, I'm actually really good right now.
Yeah,
I'm
like,
inspired.
I'm even better. I got this couple hours on my back.
I got a
put my
cat nap.
feet up, and I was like, wow, Kenny, you're badass.
Kenny is Old Snake. That is
He is Old
the
Snake.
justified comparison. But yeah, then you kind of you peace out. All that shit happens. Alvin gets shot. Still instead, I missed that.
Alvin's last stand
Was against the
glorious
only
way to go.
dude who came to stop you in the
Just
office.
basically a red shirt of the Walking Dead universe takes out.
Yo.
Yeah, Alvin was useless the whole time except for when he gets that juice box where you can hit it.
And which I didn't do because I'm dumb as hell.
Didn't matter.
Yeah, man, missed out.
Missed out.
Hitting that juice box like it's whiskey. Then series of events, blah blah blah. Basically, Carver gets fucked over, and you have the opportunity to stay and watch him get shit fucked, or leave. And I'm assuming we all stayed to watch him get shit fucked.
Oh my god.
I did.
ever.
I stayed though because I didn't want a situation where I leave and then he's still alive.
Yeah.
I stayed
I wanted
'cause
to make
wanted
sure he was going to die.
Well, I knew Kenny wasn't going to let him live. Like, I had faith enough in Kenny to be like, after he lost an eye to this motherfucker, he's going to lose his face. But I wanted to watch. I very much wanted to watch.
Kenny is very efficient at what he does too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, in this Wikipedia page, it says, Clementine stays to watch Kenny brutally murder Carver with a crowbar. Yeah, like,
That is accurate.
he just, like, keeps going into the face with the hard end of the crowbar. Like, not even just the round end, just right into it. Like,
Then he takes like a second to like
Yeah.
take it in and then just continues.
yeah. And Carver, like, after the first hit, is like, man, fuck you guys. You're all gonna die. And then
That's another one.
it's just like, that was, like, the moment where I'm like, all right, Clementine can't fuck around anymore. She's got to see this. She's got to know that this is what happens to people that fuck with her.
Yeah, people need to know. That's how you send the message.
Exactly. And then, yeah, I guess, I don't know what happens if you leave. Fuck what happens if you leave.
Fuck what happens
because-
to you. Those people are stupid who choose that option.
Yeah. So then there's just kind of like this weird ending scene. We mentioned that what's her face kills Troy by shooting him in the. Jane kills Troy by shooting him in the dick, and then he gets
Yep.
eaten by zombies.
Then he gets eaten by zombies.
Um,
Fitting end to Troy.
and then like a bunch of stuff happens where first the doctor
Yeah,
he gets
let's talk about
his face eaten
He gets
off.
a cut. I was like, no.
Shitty ending. Yeah, he
Carlos.
Didn't really he didn't get a big ending, a big death scene. He just kind of like dead. All right, we're gonna keep moving on. And I was
Yeah,
like, I was
'cause-
like, wow,
Because he didn't get a good scene like Alvin did.
Yeah, Alvin had a
having-
great.
being a-
yeah.
being an equipped man who then still gets shot.
Yes.
Yeah, Carlos gets his face eaten off, and then a bunch of zombies are everywhere, and you're covered in zombie goop because that's the smart way to get out.
And someone
then-
fucks it up.
then
'cause
someone
people do
fucks it
that.
up.
Shock.
Of
Guess
course.
who
I
it
think it's
is?
probably Cher. I don't remember, but I think it's Sarah.
It is Sarah. She
It's
screams
She
when
screamed,
Carlos
and
gets
I'm
her.
like, don't do this.
Yeah, she was freaking out, and then Carlos tried to calm her down, and then Carlos got his face eaten, and then Sarah screams.
Then the coolest thing ever.
And then the great ending scene of
Yeah.
Sarita
Really-
gets her hand bit, and then
Really good ending scene here.
there's just a moment where you're holding an axe, and you're looking at either Sarita's arm or a zombie's face. And of course, I think we all cut off Sarita's
You
arm.
went for
Oh, yeah.
the arm for sure. It was
I had to
every
go. I had a
freaking
moment where I was like, maybe. Nope, never mind. Fuck that. Cut her arm off.
The look on her face is so good, though.
This incredulous. Why'd you cut my fucking arm off? Look.
Because it's like one hit, like directly into the bone, and then Clementine
Yeah.
just comes up and it's sliced, and then it cuts to black, and you just hear her scream, and that's it. It's so
Right.
good. And that was a great ending, and then we get our previews for the next episode, which I forgot. Basically, it looked like Jane is telling Clementine. that
Jane's
she
like,
should
these
leave
motherfuckers
everybody.
are all gonna
Yeah,
die,
she's, like,
and
becoming
maybe
a
you shouldn't hang
teacher.
out with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
But then there's also apparently Kenny's going to show you his eye hole, but we can be
Oh.
excited for that.
Yikes, that sounds way worse than what I'm sure you meant. Let me show you into my soul.
Let me show you my eye hole.
Yeah, I got a sweet eye hole for you.
But it's it was a really solid episode. A lot of great moments. You were saying, Jared, that you were excited that this had direction, and now like that is all I can worry about is like what.
Yeah. Now
What
I'm
is the
super
direction
worried
now?
because now we're back in the wilderness.
Yeah, right.
The villain that was in the first 3 episodes is dead, hard, and now what happens?
Yeah, and like I don't think that they're necessarily gonna fuck it up, but like I want to know within the first like 30 minutes of playing this next episode how what's the arc for this.
Yeah, exactly. Because I was surprised that Carver died in this.
So was I. I figured he'd get away or something like that, and
Yeah.
that following him or him following me would be the rest of this.
Yeah, because
But I'm
what's their
also-
arc? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm also kind of glad that they fucking killed Carver, because then there's not like like the television show
Right.
where the governor just lives during the season finale and shoots a whole bunch of people. Spoilers.
Yeah.
And then he's like, all right, then we're going to do the actual season finale as the mid-season finale of next season. And it's like completely uninteresting, and
Right.
I'm unmotivated to watch at that point. I'm kind of glad that they're like, no, we're not going to have this huge build-up for Carver and then have him get away and do the same thing over again.
Yeah.
There is something different that's going to happen. I don't know what, but
Yeah. I mean, part of me was wondering if maybe it's like a inner group thing, like Jane tries to turn Clementine against the rest of the group or something like that. I don't know. From what the previews seem, it seems like Jane's like, Clementine, you come with me and betray everyone else, or everyone else will be
You
like,
just cut
yeah.
Homegirl's arm off, and Kenny's not excited about that now.
yeah, props
Oh, yeah,
not.
exactly. So yeah, I wonder if it's just like a group split, and you decide which group lives and which group dies.
Yeah, I mean, that could be good. That could actually set up a really dynamic 5th episode,
Yeah.
which I think is within the realm of possibility. I think Telltale could do that, and that would be good, but we can only hope. I'm very worried, though. I can't be excited because I'm just too worried at
Yeah.
this point, unfortunately. But it was a really, really good episode. Like, I was really impressed at how much they kind of redeemed themselves. But anything else to say about The Walking Dead?
Step up. Hopefully it stays that way.
Yeah. So, Jacob, I'm curious, like, since you liked the first 2 episodes, how does this compare?
I like it. I mean, I liked it more than you guys did, but I liked definitely episode 1 and 2 less than probably all the episodes in season 1.
Mm-hmm.
Just because, like we said, it was really nothing but just kind of meandering and meeting the new people, which I feel like they took way longer to like get some personality in them than they did in the first season.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they spend a lot of time with Luke and Clementine, which I know you both fucking hate.
I don't
Yeah,
hate Luke.
yeah. But
I
other
just
than that,
am-
you think he's sexually attracted to Clementine, so that's weird.
He's a pedophile.
Yeah.
I think you can say it. Just think he's a pedophile. It's a little weird. It's a little strange.
All right, yeah. But like aside from Luke, like the next closest person you really get to know that well is probably maybe Carlos or Sarah, and Sarah sucks.
Sarah
More like
sucks.
Sarah. She sucks. You only meet Carlos by proxy, and the next character that you have really any attachment to is Kenny that you already know.
Yeah. So like, yeah, the other cast of characters kind of suck. Or by kind of, I mean really suck. Outside from Luke and well, Sarah sucks, but
yeah.
aside
But I
from
mean,
Luke,
you have a real attachment to her because you're both little girls. You're just different ends of that sort of spectrum. So you have a relationship there. You don't have to like it necessarily, but it's there.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
but there's no relationship with what's the pregnant chick.
Yeah.
Like,
I could give a fuck less
Rebecca.
about her.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck about Rebecca.
Yeah, like
She won.
I don't give a fuck about her or her baby.
Yeah, you know
gonna
the
be born in
baby
episode 4.
wasn't Alvin's.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck that. I mean, either
What
way,
if they just like
fuck.
do the full Walking Dead meets like sci-fi and just the baby's born as
Zombie
the
baby.
Antichrist and it's like a little Carver and
that's
it has,
a twist.
it has
Little
his hair and
Horus.
everything and he just has a gun and starts killing people.
He comes out with a gun.
Oh, he steals a gun shortly after coming out. He looks exactly like Carver except like Mini-Me, and it's like a situation kind of like the Venture Brothers. Where he ate his brother in utero or whatever, and then he got super intelligent, and then, you know what? I'm just gonna stop there,
No,
but I
you
hope
see,
that
like,
happens.
I feel like every Walking Dead spoiler cast we've had for season 2, we end writing a very good ending to the series. In a
Yeah,
different
right-
way. Like,
right
they
now.
they should hire the three of us to just handle endings of episodes.
Don't worry, we'll lock it out for you guys.
Yeah, don't worry
Yeah.
about this. I mean, if
Just-
that was the case, there'd be an Antichrist,
Yeah.
a pedophile best friend.
Yeah,
and it
there'd be
would just
pedophile battles.
Yikes. Yeah.
Pedophile battles,
Troy versus Luke.
Fighting
fighting for
each
one's
other.
affection. Yeah, for one's
God.
like
Don't
not
call it one's
reciprocated
affection.
affection.
Yikes.
All right, then we're gonna jump right into Wolf Among whatever we're gonna talk about next. We're gonna jump right into Wolf Among Us, but I have to get a drink, so you two can fill air for like a minute while I get something to drink.
Alright. What do you want to talk about? Let's not talk about pedophiles for a minute.
No, you don't want to talk about Pedo Luke anymore.
I mean, you can talk to me about pedo Luke and I'll shake my head. Set.
It's not that I think Luke's a pedophile. I just think that if Luke was given an opportunity
Oh
to
my
do
god.
unsavory things in an unsavory way, he might not say no.
You don't think he had an opportunity when they were just hanging out in a comic book shop together?
I mean, I think there was bigger problems, though. They were surrounded by guards who might just walk in on it. Troy might come in and get jealous. I don't know.
Maybe he's into that kind of danger. Maybe he's into-
that's when he's really turned on
Yeah.
with all the danger
yeah, a
around.
little bit of danger, yeah.
I mean, that makes sense. See, now you're making sense. I think you're falling in line with this idea.
No, I'm not falling in line.
I think you're towing the Luke's a pedophile chain
I'm
right now.
far from towing that line.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
If
You know, Jacob,
that happens,
you can just admit it. We all know it's gonna happen.
if
There's
that
two
happens,
whole episodes left. It's gotta happen.
I honestly have no idea what I would think if you guys were right.
I so hope it is.
If that was the season 5 ending, just Luke just steps forward, just rips his shirt off, and then it just fades to black, and that's the end of season 5.
Season 3 opens up right where it leaves off.
Just buttons flying through the
It's
air.
just Luke's shirt's off, and you're like, well, that's weird.
It's
Forgot it.
it's Luke and
gonna be like
Clementine.
a year.
It's season 3 opens with Luke and Clementine cuddled up in the bed.
Oh,
Luke
God.
smoking. I smelled
I
this
would at
way
least want,
about
like,
you.
I would-
What if like between season 2 and 3, like 7 years progress,
Yeah,
and
I
then
want a huge time jump where Luke's like real old.
Luke's super old, and like Surly and Clementine's like old enough where it's not pedophilia anymore. They can be like, okay, she's like
And they have,
17
like,
or something like
They have like
that.
4 kids, so
Yeah.
They have like 6 kids. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's-
alright. We should
that's
for
worse,
sure.
actually.
This is why you shouldn't leave the two of us here with the dead air because we just wrote some
You're right.
real bad ones.
I'm kinda glad-
Fanfic.
Yeah, I'm kind of glad I went.
Agree.
I got a beer because I figured I would need it, and I already needed it when I came back.
Yep.
You did. There it is.
All right, there you
did.
go. Walking Dead season 3, and the
Yeah.
love and pedophilia, and buttons exploding off the shirts.
You got everything you love.
Yeah,
Passion.
passion, so much passion. It's it's really what made the core of the Walking Dead series.
All the passion.
All the passion. All right, so we're gonna talk about The Wolf Among Us, episode 4, in a spoilerly conversation now. So if you had played The Walking Dead season 2, episode 3, and you knew all that, but you don't know this, then you should probably leave. Or you could stay. You know.
Like I said, save your $5. We'll tell you what happened.
Yeah.
We'll tell you what happened. We'll have a good time doing it. So, Wolf Among Us. Stronger of the two, I think we all agree. This is notoriously, or is being notoriously known as the weakest. Break it down for us, Jared. You reviewed it because you're apparently just our review man.
Yep.
Yeah.
Picking up that slack.
And a odd twist of fate, I really liked the episode 3 of The Walking Dead and really didn't like episode 4 of Wolf Among Us.
Okay.
Not really didn't like, I was disappointed by it. Because the last 3 episodes, even though they weren't super action-packed, really, they always felt like I was doing something, and I always felt like my interactions were important.
Mm-hmm.
And in episode 4, my interactions were not important. There are very few interactions I had that really even had consequences that weren't going to happen anyway, and I felt the consequences that did happen didn't really matter. And it was almost like I was kind of just along for the ride, which is fine, I guess. A lot of loopholes were closed, a lot of questions were answered, and a couple very important questions were posed for episode 5. But really, I felt like that could have been a YouTube video. I didn't have to do any of this.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I agree completely. It felt like I was on rails the entire time.
Right.
Like everything
So
was just going to happen regardless of what I said or did.
I'm not going to go so far as to say that I loved the episode or thought it wasn't the weakest of the bunch, because I think it was just kind of on face value. But I still thoroughly enjoyed my time with this episode, just because I really liked the dialogue. And like you cite this in your review, that the writing is still really all there in this season and has been the whole time. It continues in this episode, but I just was like so compelled to move forward because like I really enjoyed every conversation you had with a set of characters, and just I felt like I got a really new perspective on things that were happening. Like with the prostitutes at the trip trap, not the trip trap, the
Pudding pie.
Pudding pie. When you talk to Beast, Beauty and Beast felt so different than what I said. So I really enjoyed just everything about the episode. But it is just like overall there wasn't as much there. Wolf Among Us, like you're right, it did feel kind of like we were just being ushered from place to place, and I would not feel nearly as powerful as the decision in the previous episode of where to go first.
That particular decision is where I realized I was kind of being let down a little bit, because when you go to both anyway, and it doesn't feel like you missed anything. Either way, I think the same things are going to happen at both places, and that rarely happens. That's the most noticeable departure, and really the evidence of the point I made in the review, which is a shame because, like you said, there's a lot of really good things narratively going on in this episode. Like, you learn a lot about Bigby in this episode, and which is weird because you play him and you make all his decisions, but it's hard to learn something about a character who's supposed to be you. But because of his interactions and the way people opened up to him in ways he wasn't necessarily ready for, you now have to make new decisions based on those things, and his decisions are ones you didn't expect him to even put on the table. Like when you have the opportunity, or when Snow tells you she has to let, what's his name, the pig, he has to go back to the farm, and you have to let him know that.
Yeah.
And you're like, I can't. He's like the only friend I have.
Yeah,
But
he isn't my only friend. He's a chain smoking.
or Toad, when you see Toad again, he's up to some bullshit again, but you have an opportunity to still be, merciful to Toad, even though he's really done nothing but dick you around the entire time you've met him. Your entire relationship with Toad is like Toad finds a way to outsmart you, and then you're chasing him all the time. But you can still try to be a better Bigby to him, even though he doesn't appreciate it. There are plenty of the examples of this are countless, and pretty much in interaction you have, it's something like that. But the interactions at the end of the conversation, at the end of the tree, all go to the same place, which is a big disappointment, I guess.
Yeah, it is. It does make me wish that there was more, but like, I guess this is kind of what I expected the episode would be, so I wasn't necessarily disappointed, because it was all kind of in leading to a point, which is, you know, just the kind of interaction with the Crooked Man at the very end, which the whole
cool.
tension kind of building up in that last scene was
awesome.
really good. Yeah,
I agree.
And I like this kind of, as the episode goes on, they very slowly build this feeling of dread, of like no one is out from under his thumb.
Yeah. Like, even when they were describing like his symbol, how it's like that thing that just pulls people
until
and, like,
all
breaks
broken,
their bones, and I was just like, that's fucked.
Yeah,
right.
It's real fucked up, and it I think what kind of got me so excited was like this idea that all Fabletown is wow, I can't speak, is under the Crooked Man's thumb, and like he controls everything, and you're seeing these things about everyone else in Fabletown, but you're seeing nothing about you, and like this feeling of dread that I was worried about is right at the end, which I'm sure is how the next episode will start. I'm confident is that it ends up the Crooked Man is in control of you as well, just in a way that we wouldn't expect.
Well, they even allude to it in the episode a little bit.
Yeah.
Like when you meet Jersey, and he's telling Jack, like the Crooked. He's even Bigby's made his offering to the Crooked Man, which was what's his name, Crane. Like making an off-color sort of mocking reference to him being under his thumb, but that's kind of foreshadowing.
Okay, so that scene went down differently for you, because when I was at Jersey's pawn shop, Jack wasn't there, or he had just left.
Well, that's probably I went to the pawn shop first. I guess that's the difference.
I went there first.
Okay, so I went to the other place first. So I guess we'll delve into that in a little bit. But yeah, it's just like I was kind of dreading the moment when I got to the Crooked Man, because I knew I was probably going to figure something out that I didn't want to know about Bigby, and he might be kind of dreading it himself, and you kind of get that feeling in his kind of like lack of patience for anything, but yeah, it built to this ending that was really, really intense, and just like literally, and they did the same thing with The Walking Dead season 1. It was just like right as the 4th episode ended, I just wanted to be in the 5th episode. And like the trailer for next episode is alluding to Bigby kind of retreading old places as the bad guy, which I want to know more about. It looks really interesting, but again, Telltale is really good at setting up for something that's really great while maybe not delivering something excellent right up front. But I guess we'll dive into the episode. That first scene, man, just fucking arm is open.
Yeah. Oh my god. Rough stuff.
That scene was real brutal. Just the whole snapping and pulling and placing and.
Yeah, what doctor in his? He's like, oh, you can just put that back yourself.
Thanks, Doc.
Yeah.
Glad you're here.
Yeah, I know you got your hands in my ribs right now, but like, I can wait if you want me to.
Yeah, it was just like the way he like kind of like pulled his like limp arm up and like wrapped the skin around the bone. Yeah. Oh god!
And at first he was just before they'd say you can put it in yourself, he was just kind of like bringing it up and just like playing with it.
And Snow's like, stop that. I'm like, yeah, stop that.
Bigby, for sure, don't do that.
Yeah, that's probably not good. That scene was great, and then you're just kind of set up as like this awkward moment between you, Colin, and Snow, which I thought was really great seeing Colin and Snow interact with one another, because Colin's the best.
Yeah, Colin is the best.
And just like, she's like, you gotta go to the farm. He's like, Bigby, listen, I'm all for the Bigby stop being a dick brigade. And I just love the phrasing he had for that, and it was really good banter between everybody there.
You didn't
But
tell him to go back, did you?
I didn't. I didn't give him a straight answer. I went for the ellipses outcome. And
I think I went for the neutral answer. Like, we'll deal with it when this is over.
yeah,
I
and
straight up
Colin.
said, Colin, you're fine.
You're good, man.
Plop on that lazy boy. You're staying there.
That's that take. Yeah, no, he was just like, you couldn't even give me a straight answer after all this, which I imagine he kind of gave you the same thing.
Yeah.
Jared.
I'm like, Colin, chill the fuck out right now. I'm going through some shit.
They have like a nice moment together. He's like, thanks, Bigby, and I'm like, I've been a dick to everyone in my playthrough, and I'm just me and Colin through it all.
Not you, though. You,
Yeah,
buddy,
not-
you're good.
I can't do it, Colin.
Yeah, I was kind of addicted to Colin mostly because he was like so passive aggressive in the first episode. He's so passive aggressive this whole scene with you and Snow. Even though he is kind of on your side, but you know, he's just really bad at expressing himself. I am kind of disappointed though because it means like, I mean, obviously when we did the first episode, and I said I had like scrolled through all the episode previews, like the little images they have up, and the fourth one was the farm, and that plan has obviously changed, just like it's changed for the Walking Dead as well. I'm kind of disappointed that this probably means that we will not be able to see the farm in the game, because I was looking forward to that, just seeing what the hierarchy there is.
They also don't do a great job of like depicting why the farm's so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I've read the entries, like the Fable entries about it, and they're just like, you know, the farm it's for the fairies that, you know, can't afford glamours, blah blah blah, and every fairy that's in a position of power at the farm is a fairy that can afford a glamour, and it is
But
like
they're just there anyway.
a human fairy, but they're there so they can be in charge and be in power and rule
Right.
over. And then to the people of the farm, it doesn't feel like a safe place where they can be themselves. It feels like a prison where they can't leave. And that's always how it's kind of mentioned. But yeah, like I think if you had seen it in the series, then it would be easier to understand that. But actually, I recently purchased the first Fables trade paperback, so I'm excited to get a little bit more detail on the series and the plot and the world that they have set up. But yeah, so then you kind of get the choice to go to. You talk to Beauty and Beast because they call the office and.
Wait, before that, don't you?
Yeah,
talk
this
to,
Narissa. I forgot
Narissa,
about
yeah.
that. So how did you guys handle this Narissa thing? Because I fucked it all up.
Oh.
I tried to be as delicate as possible because I know she can't tell me what she wants to tell me, but I'm trying to like figure it out. And
Did you try and rip off the necklace?
I tried to at first, but then she's like, "Don't," and I'm like, "All right, I won't."
I approached it, and then she's like, "No, no, 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 no," and then I was like, "Okay,
Your eyes turned
chill."
gold, and you just ripped it off.
I'm like, "Fuck that! I'm doing it."
Oh, that moment also in the beginning where he snaps his arm back on and it just shows
And his eyes, I like that small little touch.
But then he looks back up and he's fine. I'm like, oh, that was so great.
Yeah.
But yeah, when I was talking to Marissa, it was like I was like very obviously right after I had picked the dialogue option, she'd be like, "Oh, you're not fucking getting this," and I'm like, "Oh no, I mean," and I was just like, "Yeah, I'm stupid."
Yeah.
I made Bigby sounded like a complete idiot the whole scene. I'm like, God, I'm so dumb.
My Bigby was laying on the charm.
Hey, girl, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, you can do it. You do
You just
it.
take it slow. So, are we thinking that their heads come off if you take the ribbon off?
I think so,
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I didn't want that to happen in my office. That'd be weird.
Yeah,
That'd be real awk.
Yeah, that sounds
It's
awful as
real
fuck.
awk.
Yeah, I was like, you know, with what I don't know if it was both Lily and Faith, or it was just Faith, but if I remember correctly, they like both had the ribbon shoved down their throat when their bodies were found, when their heads were decapitated.
I think so. I don't remember Lily. I know Faith did.
Yeah, I know Faith did, so that would make sense. It was pretty interesting. Like it was a well done, tense moment of like, no, don't fucking touch this. And then there was like this moment of realization, at least for me. I don't know if my Bigby was realizing anything that entire scene, because he was just being so dumb as shit. But I was like, oh, something bad's gonna happen.
I get it.
But yeah, like I'm curious because they've kind of moved away from, you know, who is the killer. Like the killer could be the Crooked Man, or it might not be. And I'm kind of curious how they're gonna wrap both of these arcs of the Crooked Man runs Fabletown and who murdered these two prostitutes.
Well, I think the implication is that the Crooked Man knows.
Yes, the Crooked Man definitely knows. Yeah.
Even though he didn't do it, he definitely knows who did it.
Yeah, and like I'm still, every time like I go into the new episodes, I'm always leaning on what Toad Jr. said back like in episode 2, I think it was, of like some person was talking to themselves and saying stop laughing when they were dumping Lily's body in the river. And it's like I'm always going back to that and trying to think of who would do that, and I'm still just coming up with nothing. So yeah, I'm curious to see how this ends, at least in that regard. But did you guys get any kind of information other than the ribbon from Nerissa, or was it just all useless?
I feel like I got something.
I did too. I mean, she obviously gives you the hint to go to Beauties at the end, but I think everyone gets that, no matter how fucking dumb you are during that.
That was pretty dumb.
I feel like I maybe got something too, but it was...
I very clearly got nothing. She was like, I'm sorry I'm wasting your time. And I was like, you're not wasting anybody's time. Just keep talking if you can, please. And she's like, this is useless. I'm like, I'm sorry.
I know it got awkward when she's like holding your hand and Snow walks in. And I'm like, listen, it was going to be exactly what you think it was.
We were going to get down and dirty
right now.
Obviously, that is the only appropriate option.
Yes.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. I was like, God damn it, this is gonna ruin everything. Especially when Snow. I'm curious because you guys both killed Tweedledee, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, he did.
He really did.
So did Snow like say anything about that?
She wasn't excited.
Yeah, she wasn't real that pleased.
She's like, you really can't keep doing that. She said, and I was like, all right, you're probably right.
And I was like, you know what? I'll do what I need to do because my Bigby's been a huge violent dick the whole
giant asshole.
I've been playing him like that, and I was like, yeah, I'll do what I need to do. Snow, Colin knows what I'm talking about.
I do my job.
So, because like in that first scene, she like came up to me in the kitchen. I imagine she probably does this for everybody. She like put her hand on my chest, and she's like, you know, you showed a lot of self-control back there. I'm like, yeah, I did.
No, not to me. She was like,
no, not to you.
I was really worried. I was really worried about you. I thought you were gonna die. I was like, yeah, who did die though? Fucking Tweedledee. Fuck that.
Tweedledee.
Yeah, she treated me as like this fallen hero as opposed to this crazy motherfucker.
Fucking crazy.
Well, she was still like,
she's still pissed that you went ham.
Still
though.
Worried, like. And still thought, you know, well of you because she was worried about your safety, and that brought her to a heightened understanding of her feelings for you. But she was definitely not pumped about you ripping Tweedledee's throat out.
Yeah, so she was just like, you know, you handled it as best you could. That was kind of the gist of the situation she gave me.
That's the problem, Alex. Though you didn't handle it as best you could.
Yeah,
you could have handled it better.
Yeah, I could have done better by fucking ripping that guy's throat out. Yep. I've seen it because my roommate that episode throat out. And I was watching, and as soon as it happened, we both looked at each other like, "Holy shit!" Because Tweedledum or whatever, he looks real bummed when he's dying.
Yeah, he doesn't look like he's enjoying his own death.
Yeah.
No, he is real upset about it. And yeah, it was good. It was a great scene. But yeah, I like the kind of what they were getting at in the beginning there, like when she's like, we got to play this by the book, and you can't just go fucking crazy big bad wolf anytime you want. And what I said to that was like, you know, it's really easy to judge from where you're sitting.
Yeah, it's really easy to say that when you're not the big bad wolf.
Yeah.
And then that's when Colin kind
If
of
Jay-Z and Kanye can go ham, so can I.
exactly. If they have to, if they can watch The Throne, then you can watch this shit, bitch.
Yeah, watch this happen. I did it for you. I did it for us.
So I guess we'll move back to Beauty and Beast.
That was I really liked the Beauty and the Beast thing. I thought that was
yeah.
They're way more snobby than I pictured them.
I
being.
love that because like
because you don't. I mean, they would be.
Yeah.
But I didn't really think about it in the other scene.
Yeah, you think they're just people struggling, like.
Yeah, and then
But
you're
they're
like,
not
it's
really.
all bullshit. Like, holy shit, everything you put on is complete bullshit.
Which was a great opportunity again to see like a different side of Bigby that you didn't know yet, because Bigby was deceived too. He figured they were just in like really hard times doing desperate shit, but they really weren't.
Yeah, they were doing
one
desperate
on
shit
one.
because they wanted to live in luxury.
Great.
Which was great. It was like such a twist that would make sense, but I didn't think about it.
And they're
like you said,
obviously-
Jacob.
Yeah, they're probably living the best out of or anyone that we've seen.
Totally.
In Town
Yeah.
by a pretty far stretch. And they
Yeah,
just want
especially
more.
when you saw Prince Lawrence or whatever, fucking bleeding out in his
he's got a
room.
hair with like a needle in his arm,
Yeah,
like dying.
He's not
Yeah.
doing well.
He was dead.
He's
and
dead in mine.
And he's got like a fucking bed in a wall.
Yeah,
and they're sitting here in this luxury apartment with this huge portrait and the most amazing answering machine ever.
I love Jersey's response to the answering machine.
I'm gonna fucking hear that one more time. I will fucking kill you. And I'm like, that is so great.
Did you answer the phone?
I didn't.
I
Did you?
did.
I did.
Oh,
How'd that go?
I picked it up, but right when you pick it up, he hangs up, so you don't actually get to talk to him. But like they were like, so don't do that, please.
damn.
Yeah, I was hoping I get to talk to him early, but didn't.
Yeah. I avoid it. I was when Beaskin's like, I should get that. He's like, no, just let it go.
We're gonna listen to that.
And just like listening to the whole answering machine thing, which goes on for like a minute and a half.
Yeah, you can pick it up at any
great.
time, and it's hilarious when you don't.
It's so great. And like there's like a look when they like look at each other and they're like, oh god, Jesus Christ.
They would be
Like
the
a
people
baller.
that, they would be the people that make the beep sound before the
Oh, yeah.
answering machine.
And it's like, you know, those people,
Yeah.
and they're the worst.
They're the worst.
They're like
people.
so happy, or in this case they're not, but like they're so much better than you because they're so much happier than you, and you're like,
Right.
fucking die,
Yeah.
just die.
And those people are the worst people.
I'd love to
Yeah.
know what Beast thought he was going to do, though. Like, we can handle it ourselves. Obviously, you can't handle it yourself.
Yeah,
he's
obviously,
been struggling for
You're in the
months.
shit now. You got to deal with me, all right?
Yeah.
And we've already fought. Like,
Yeah.
it can go down again. I don't give a
Yeah.
fuck.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Big B can still kick your ass if he wants to.
Right.
The end. It's just like that scene is great, and just getting the opposite perspective on these characters that I really liked, and now I'm just like judging them quietly. And I forget like what's the final dialogue option, where Big B you can like say something super passive aggressive.
Well, they ask you to take care of him.
Yeah, it's just
You're
before
like-
that, just before you leave the apartment, when they're like talking about how rich they are or whatever. And he's like, I thought you guys were struggling. It's like something's like, yeah, you guys look like you really need my help. It's something like that. But yeah, then you leave and they're like, Big B, just kill the crooked man.
You just do whatever comes naturally, man.
With me, I once again, silence is always an option. I did the ellipses on this. It's so worth it because he just gives them the dirtiest look, and they look so upset when he walks away.
Yeah, I said, I'll do what I gotta do.
I was like,
Just walked away.
did you just ask me to kill him?
Yeah.
And they're like, no, we would never say something like that. I was like,
Yeah,
shut
yeah.
the hell up.
Yeah, of course. It is curious though. I wonder what the fate of the crooked man will be, but I guess we'll get to that in a little bit. So then you get the option to go to the pawn shop or the other place, the meatery, the meat.
Well,
the
before
deli.
that, there's an important moment that's super creepy.
Okay.
And I think Snow comes to the apartment. And
What?
you and Snow talk about where you're going to go next.
Really? I didn't get that.
And you go into an elevator. And she's going to go, it's like, depending on where you go, she has other things to do when the elevator goes down. She's like, she's walking with you, talking about your next move, and then suddenly she has other things to do.
That happened before Beast.
That happened before. I think maybe before you met Beasts or
Yeah.
after.
That was just
remember
before
that.
Beast.
I was gonna say, I didn't meet Snow after.
Right. It's before you meet Beasts because she gets the phone call at the office and sends you to go figure it out, and it's almost like she's gonna go with you. But when you get on the elevator, she's like, "I have other things to take care of," and then just, like the door closes, and I'm
Yeah.
like, "What are they?"
Yeah, I don't remember that. But now I remember now that you brought it up. But yeah, that was right after you talked to Narissa.
Right. And I'm like, "What are you so busy about with right now? This is the most important shit going on right now."
It definitely didn't seem as suspicious when I talked to her.
I was super
I didn't
suspicious.
think you just don't trust anyone.
I was like, "Listen, I just ripped the dude's throat out over this, and you're just gonna go somewhere."
maybe
and
that's
just hang
why
out."
she didn't want to ride in a
Maybe
closed
maybe
space
that's why
with
she needs to ride now. She knows I'm gonna rip throats out for her.
or hers if you get
I did this
crazy
for
enough.
you.
I did this for us.
Yeah, it's I guess that you bring that up. I remember it not being as suspicious, but maybe I'm gonna see it again when my roommate plays through it. So I'll look at it with new eyes. So you guys went to the pawn shop first, correct?
Hang out with the Jersey Devil.
Okay,
It
so
was fucking awesome. By the
Yeah,
way.
he
the
was.
Jersey Devil is
That was
great.
hilarious.
Yeah, just an old man.
That was Jarrett's little slice of home
That
right
was
there
super.
for you.
Yeah, he sounds like dudes I've met. Dudes I've met today. He sounds like.
Yeah, I like that the Jersey Devil is kind of like a badass too, but you still beat the shit out of
Yeah,
him.
like he's nothing. He's nothing important.
No
when
one
all
is
said and
as
done.
much of a badass as Bigby, and I love that.
But
Fuck.
but like a lot of
Mary.
people are hesitant to really get involved with Big B. He is 100% not. He's like,
Yeah.
if
He
we're
was
gonna go
down to
there,
throw
allow me
down.
to instigate it.
I did
Yeah,
love the woodsman. I like the little team up.
Yeah.
The tag team match
Yeah.
with the
Yeah,
Woodsman.
that was great. And so like, what happened with you guys? Now, so you went there first. When I got there, after the deli, the butchers. It's a butchers.
Yeah, the butcher.
The Jack was just leaving, and you stop him for a second. And he's like, "I gotta go," and then he pieces out. So what happened with you guys with Jack? 'Cause
Jack
He's
is
there. Like this place is still open when you.
yeah,
get
he's
there.
behind the register. Toad's there trying to sell the lamb skin from Faith.
Shit.
Trying to pawn it.
None of this happened. When I got there, the gate was most of the way down, outside the door, and the woodsman's like fucking yelling at Jersey, asking him where his axe is, and Jack pieces out. That's how it kind of sets up. So continue.
You get there pretty much before that. Like the store's, for all intents and purposes, still open. You go in there looking for the Jersey Devil who isn't there yet, but you realize, but Toad is talking to Jack about his lambskin, and Jack's like, "We're not buying that because it's fucking dirty ass lambskin." And he's like, "Why not? This is probably worth money to someone." And Jack's not buying it, but at the same time, you're asking Jack questions, and he's like avoiding you. So Toad is like pretty much just spilling the entire operation in frustration.
That's so great.
He's like, this is a crooked man front, is like, right? And of course, Bigby knew that, but he's like, really? Continue. And Jack's like, please stop that.
Yeah, and then
That's so
he's
good.
like, yeah.
So, actually, before you go on, Jacob, sorry, but why did you guys choose to go to the pawn shop first?
I felt the Jersey Devil will probably be there, and he's probably, and I knew the what's her name hung out there too, Bloody Mary.
Yeah.
So maybe I'd meet them, and we can come to terms with our settle our differences, or at least figure out more directly where the Crooked Man is. Because if I know Bloody Mary worked for the Crooked Man, was in front of his limo the last time you saw them, so she's the closest person that I knew at the time to him.
Yeah.
I went because it sounded more fun to go to a pawn store than a meat store.
Instead of meat, fucking deadly.
The when I went to when I was deciding, Beast made it sound like Bloody Mary hung out at the butchers more often. So I don't know if dialogue was different for you guys. We probably made different choices, but yeah. So then I'm guessing after you learn everything you need to learn from Toad spilling all the shit,
You slap Jack around a bit, don't you? Or don't you get the opportunity?
You have an opportunity to. I don't think I did.
I mean, I take every chance I get.
I was going to, but then you get the opportunity to like not do that and then look around instead. Yeah. I mean, I think you look around anyway.
Yeah, but I hit him once and looked around. I could have hit him more than that, I think.
I was gonna hit him, and I just figured look around.
Keep it classy.
Yeah, they start calling me. I mean, they're more free with calling Bigby a monster in this episode. Like more than once, I got called like, "You are legitimately a monster."
Really? No one said that to me.
Yeah, I had it said more than once. I had it said at the meat store too. I'll tell you about it when I talk about that. But yeah, then we just looked around for the. You get to see a lot of cool shit in the pawn store.
Yeah, yes. I didn't get the opportunity to because right when I got there, it was time to fight.
It was throwdown.
It was throwdown time. It was like someone put on timber and a white girl started going crazy. And yeah, no, I wish I got to see a bit more because I bet there would be a lot of cool stuff in there. So do you guys just like kind of look around until the huntsman shows up?
The huntsman and Jersey are arguing outside.
Yeah. Okay.
Jack's trying to leave and close the gate, but he runs into them and they kind of pass each other. But and in passing, they come in. They're arguing about Woodsman's axe because the last time he heard it was in here.
Yep.
And it's not where he's nowhere to be found. But as they're arguing, he starts to look around.
Yep.
And then you get into it with Jersey Devil arguing, and Jack's still there. So there's kind of like a three-way conversation there too, which is pretty interesting.
Okay.
Which is where the illusion happens, where the Jersey Devil is like completely out front with the fact that this is a Crooked Man owned joint, and he's worked for the Crooked Man, and that everybody does, and tries to make the point that even Bigby does because he just gave the Crooked Man Crane like 2 nights ago. So obviously he understands and made his first offering to the Crooked Man as well to be a part of the group. Yeah. And Bigby doesn't like that. Then the Woodman's like, "Oh, I found out where my axe was because of the fucking nameplate saying this was my axe." Yeah. So obviously someone bought it. So they get a little upset. Words are exchanged, and Jersey Devil's like, "Fuck, let's do it then."
Yeah. Did anyone?
Jersey Devil is like, "Fucking let's fight," pretty much.
Did anyone? Okay, I did. Did anyone punch the Jersey Devil before he turns into the Jersey Devil? And
I was like, "Fuck him!"
Takes it and just stands there, and I was like,
and I was like, "That's not what I wanted."
That's not what I wanted to have happen.
Yep, that is pretty much what happened. So with me, when I got there second, just to kind of set the scene. You hear arguing, and then you come in, and the gate's down, and Jack is like, "I don't know, man. They got into it. I'm out of here." And then he just runs past Bigby because Bigby's caught up in the fact that Jersey and Woodsman are just screaming at each other. And then he goes under the gate, and he's like, "What's going on?" The Woodsman's like, "Oh, fuck, he's here." Then he goes up to the case and points to, is like, "My axe was right here, where is it?" to where the nameplate was. And then Jersey's like, fucking yelling about something, and then you guys start fighting.
So not super different, you just missed like a good chunk of the beginning.
I missed the interesting dialogue. But, then we fought. And horns were ripped off of devils and shoved through their chests.
What did you use to drop on his head? Use the anvil or like the
statue? I used the statue.
I did too.
I wasn't too sure what the anvil was going to turn out to be.
I wasn't sure if like the anvil was going to be too heavy for me too. I was just like an idiot, so I just went with the statue.
Well, I looked at both, and then like right after I grabbed the horse statue, I'm like, this is probably going to like shatter. And then no, it's solid. It's real solid.
It's solid. It was like, wow, that's like
solid as hell. Yeah. And then I kicked him a few times. And
I like that it was like solid gold or whatever.
Yeah.
Did you listen to his monologue when you leave, or did you like just leave early?
I listened to it.
I hit him.
Shut fuck up.
I punched him and then I walked out. That's an option, right? Maybe I'm. Just
I think you can hit him and leave. Listen to him or just leave.
It says hear him out or leave or shut him up.
Yeah. So I let the bar run down a little bit and then I hit shut him up. So I listened to as much as I could before obviously choosing the option of punching him.
Yeah, he just kind of said like
does he say anything interesting?
He says something like it's mostly villainized. Like the Crooked Man owns everyone. He owns you. He owns this whole town. He's been running this the whole time, and
Yeah, there's nothing you can do about it. Blah,
get
blah,
away
blah.
from him. Yeah. So then we go to the deli, or the butcher's. I'll describe how it was for
What
me when
happened?
I got there, since I went there
Yeah.
first. So you walk in and nobody's there, and then you're smoking a cigarette, and there's a sign that says, like, a little no smoking sign, and it says option keep smoking or put out cigarette. And I put out my
Yeah,
cigarette.
I got that option too.
I'm not a monster.
Did you keep smoking?
I did.
I see.
I'm sure
I was like,
I'm
fucking,
sure
the
you
butcher
guys
can stop
did.
me.
So then you get the chance, like, no one's behind the counter, and then you get the chance, like, to look around, and Bigby, like, looks at me, it's all frozen solid. He's like, who the fuck? Walk up to the, like, the divider, and you can lift it up. You go to lift it, and then, Johan comes back. He's like, Bigby, oh, Sheriff, you're here, and then we talked for a little bit, and he was just kind of, like, avoiding what I was saying. I just basically said, Beast told me you deliver packages for the Crooked Man. He's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Shouldn't have done that, because then, like, he's like, I'm gonna go check something in back, and he clearly hits arm button, and then pieces out to the back, and then I lift up the divider and I follow him, and I see the alarm button, and then follow him, and you're moving like big cow husks and pig husks aside, and then you see him like moving boxes in front of a door, and then you get to listen to him complain about how he let the fucking Tweedles and Bloody Mary play poker when it was hot summer once in his back room in his freezer, and then they acted like they were owning the place because it ends up they were just casing the gym.
Oh, he's gone.
I think Alex just died.
Yep, he's gone.
Everyone pour out your drugs for Alex. He was a young man. He didn't deserve to go so soon.
He's gone.
He had his whole career in front of him. And now, just like that, he's gone. This is a somber moment for recap for Spoilercast history.
Yeah. Just, he's gone. So he's gonna be real pissed when he finds out that
That is like the same exact
yeah,
thing.
that we didn't
Yeah.
miss anything. We just got more than he did.
Yeah. Oh, and suddenly,
Yeah.
like
he's
that,
back.
a miracle happened.
Revived, like a
He's
phoenix.
back. Don't pour your drinks out yet. Alex is actually still alive.
This is what happens when you just decide to hit the X button by accident.
So you did. So this is completely your fault.
I thought it would've
Yeah,
been
no, it's
him.
entirely my fault.
No, it's just him. It's just you.
Yeah,
I wonder what this button does.
In this case, it was like I hit the right click, and there was like an option to close in the right click menu for some reason, and it just accidentally like slipped. My hand like slipped down the trackpad and it closed. And Johan was talking about some bullshit, moving some boxes. You lift up the grate, and then there's like the slavery room in the back.
Slavery room.
Is that kind of how it went down for you guys?
That's exactly how it went. So yeah,
Okay.
we were just talking about you're gonna be pissed when you find out that we didn't miss anything.
God
that you
damn
did.
it.
You just missed out on stuff.
Literally the same exact thing happened.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well-
the only, I mean, it didn't sound like the other time I get called a monster is even Johan's just complaining about how he's just being used, and his, I like grabbed his face and like lifted him up in front of the garage, and like he had these huge finger marks on his face from where I just squeezed his face so hard, because there's an option to squeeze harder or to let him go, and I squeezed harder, and so he's got these marks all over his face, and I let him go, and he's like, everything they say about you is totally true. You are a monster. And then I felt a little bit.
You're right. Tell your friends.
Yeah, always keeping it classy, of course.
I didn't do that. I just told him like this is what's happening and it sucks. And you could have told me they were there. I could have solved this right now.
Yeah.
And then he's like, well, where were you? A year ago when this was happening to me. And I'm like, that's actually a really good question.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of like what I said. I was just like, hey, you should have told someone about this. And he's like, you if this has been happening for a year and now you're complaining that I'm not helping you, well, you should have told me a year ago when this was happening. And then he was like, at some point, he's like, you're just helping because it's convenient for you. I don't need your help anymore. And I said, well, you're getting my help now, so deal with it.
I'm gonna help the fuck out of you.
Yeah. I did feel bad for him a little bit more than I ever do. I mean, I never feel bad for anyone when I'm playing as Bigby. And I was like, at the end, he was like, well, "What do I do
so
now?"
then you
and I
go
was
into
like,
the slave.
Yeah, that's what do I do now? You know what? I don't really know, man.
yeah. I was like, yeah, we can. I'll figure something out. But yeah, the slave was fucked.
Yeah, it was real fucked. It's like, hey, this is where we're forcing people to make our magics. Ripping from the shackles on the floor. And I'm like, God, Jesus Christ. I did like that Bigby did get appropriately outraged that, hey, the Crooked Man is enslaving people. That's not okay.
Yeah.
Is the opposite of good. So.
Opposite of good.
Yeah, I guess like there's nothing really more
Then you
to
find the
say,
mirror piece in this like coat.
Well, I found that in the pawn shop.
I found the mirror piece when you search Ichabod Crane's coat in the butcher. You can find the mirror piece in his coat, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe that's
Yeah,
because
you guys are gonna be upset.
the order.
Ichabod Crane's coat was hanging in the back of the pawn shop for me.
Fuck that.
Fuck that, right?
Yeah, we
Oh,
didn't
it's
get to
always
go-
in
so
the
you got to go to
second
the
place
back
you
of the pawn
go.
yeah.
Oh.
Hey.
That's
Yeah, it's dumb.
yeah,
There you
that's
go.
Super dumb.
Yeah. So made sense that the mirror piece was in the pawn shop, but
Does
I didn't
that mean
think
that
of that.
Ichabod was a slave for a while, or did they
Well,
just hang up his coat?
that was the implication I got, that he
Yeah,
was
that's
back
what
there.
I thought. Yeah, that's what I thought too. But apparently, he was in the pawn shop too.
yeah.
He's got two sets.
So there you go. Ends up he was never a slave.
That's the real ending.
That's the real ending. Ichabod Crane flies to France until the Crooked Man needs him. Yeah, okay, so blah blah blah. You move the chalkboard aside, you see the list of everyone ever.
Oh,
was
that's
disabled.
different.
Oh, you didn't see that?
It's all erased.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's all
what?
gone. Yeah.
So when I
you did
moved,
get some stuff different. That's cool.
so when I moved the chalkboard, it's basically you saw that it was like certain letters equal certain things, and then there was basically a key for that on the other chalkboard. It was like these letters, these initials or whatever are this person, and it was literally every single person in Fabletown, almost every single person. And some good names jumped out to me. None that I can remember right now, of course, but it was like
Bigby
every
on the
Fable
list?
you've ever heard of. And Bigby was just like, Jesus Christ, he's got literally everyone in Fabletown under his thumb. Like that was the extent to this. Like this was everyone important or necessary or anything. So that was really interesting. There you go. Shared a little tidbit of information.
So that's cool. Was Bigby on the list?
I didn't see it. Kind of like grazes over it, but
Oh.
I wouldn't be surprised. But it was basically everyone he was selling magic to, so I imagine not. Yeah. Then you go back to the office, and that's where the Lee from The Walking Dead scene happens. I never remember Bluebeard. That's his actual name. So Snow White is arguing with Bluebeard, and Toad's there, and they're all arguing. Then you give the piece of the mirror to Buffkin, and Buffkin's all like, "I'm a monkey."
I hate Buffkin. I'm
drunk.
not convinced that Buffkin's not in on it.
Yeah, like I said, man, Buffkin, he's the actual killer.
He's got his fingers in everything.
I don't know about Buffkin, man. I think that's. I don't think you can. I don't think Buffkin's capable.
Yeah,
Surprised when he's capable. He's a flying monkey.
Buffkin
I mean,
is
there's a lot
on the
of things
cover of
he
this
could do.
Fables comic book. So
As a flying monkey, there's a lot he could do. But as a drunk ass flying monkey, there's a lot he's not gonna do.
yeah,
That's true.
So did you guys talk to Bluebeard? So I had to talk to Toad.
I talked to Toad.
Okay, there's no way to talk to Bluebeard. That's disappointing because I wanted to see what Bluebeard had to say. I want to see what the fuck he's complaining about now.
Everything.
Everything. He complains. That's all he really. That's his only scenes really. He comes in, he complains for like 4 minutes of screen time, and then he leaves.
Yep. I'm curious to see. I bet he's gonna have something important in the last episode, but
I want them to
maybe
slow
he's
down.
the secret hero. Maybe he saves everybody.
I feel like Bluebeard isn't like the worst guy. He's an asshole,
No.
Yeah.
but
totally.
he's
But like
not
Swiss
the
BB.
problem.
So
Right.
you know, it's like he's an asshole. He's self-serving, but he does in some way care about Fabletown because he has to live there.
Right.
And I'm curious to see it because I think you're right, Jared. I think that's going to play into he's gonna help you out reluctantly, but he will in episode 5. But yeah, I told Toad that he has to go to the farm.
Really?
But I told him he had to go.
Did you send him out too, Jared?
I didn't, because I actually, when I searched Ichabod Crane's coat,
Took his money,
took
didn't
his
you?
money and
So
gave
did
it to
I.
Frog. I was like, Toad, go get a fucking glamour.
Yeah, I did too. Shockingly, I was actually super nice to Toad.
See, I took
I
Ichabod's
felt bad
money.
for Toad's son.
I did too.
Yeah, I feel
You
bad for
kept
Toad's
it,
son.
You pocketed it, didn't you?
I took the money, I pocketed it, but Snow was like, we don't have the money to spare for this shit. And I figured, like,
Neither do I.
after I sent Toad away, I could be like, this is money that Ichabod was hiding. Let's use this for Fabletown. But I never got that opportunity. I might still, but I didn't get the chance to do that. That was what I wanted to do, but I never got the opportunity, so...
I gave it to
Um,
Toad.
But yeah, fuck Toad. I don't know, that guy's a prick, so I don't care.
Yeah, he is. But
He is. I think
Junior.
I still feel bad when I, like, slapped the shit out of him in front of his son. And I was like, that's
Oh
fucked
yeah,
up.
I don't feel bad about that. I just feel.
No,
bad
he
that
needed to
it's-
get slapped, but
Yeah.
I was like, his son knows
His
how to slap
son
bitches
is-
now, and I don't know if he's
Yeah.
okay with it.
I mean, like, the thing is, like, I figured Toad Jr. is probably not safe in Fabletown at the moment, so... But I told him, like, basically I was like, hey, when things cool down, we're going to try and get you back here. That was how Bigby said it. He was like, I can't bend the rules for one person. And then he's like, what about fucking Colin? And I'm like, I don't know what happened with Colin. Get off my back.
Did he really say that?
I said, Colin stays out of sight from Mondays, at least. So, that's
Yeah,
what I
which is
said.
Super true.
And he's a fucking pig. Like, you're a
Exactly.
walking, talking frog.
Yeah, you're an anthropomorphic frog. He just looks like a pig.
He can just
Yeah.
not say anything and be a pig.
Yeah.
Sure, he smokes cigarettes and
Yeah.
drinks scotch, but, like, whatever.
But he cannot do that in public. Like, there's no way
Yeah.
you can not walk and talk
Maybe
as a
he can.
giant toad in
Yeah,
public.
maybe he's
wearing
just-
sweatpants.
and like a bowler hat or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, being all British and shit. So, actually, going off of what you brought up earlier, Jared, for Snow White being suspicious. So, like, when you walk... You're like, Blue Air, what the fuck do you want? He's like, I've made my contribution to Fabletown and I'm leaving now. So then he walks away. So maybe Snow White was trying to work something out with Bluebeard. When
Maybe.
she was talking about other business.
But I'm like worried about what that means because you can't really trust Bluebeard.
Oh,
And I don't know that she's
Yeah.
in the right mind to do something. Like she wants to do something drastic to try to get it all straight because she's suddenly have a lot of pressure under her, and I'm afraid she's gonna do something real dumb.
Yeah, she probably is, but it'll be something that hopefully can work itself out. Or hopefully Big B can, like, rip somebody's throat out and work it out.
And just solve it.
That's
Yeah.
that's
Solve
that's a
all the
problem
problems.
solver, Yeah.
So then I guess we'll go to the climactic scene. You get to the mirror. The mirror's fixed. You look for Crane, and Bloody Mary's all like creeping through the mirror. Ugh.
Yeah.
I freaked out a little bit when that
Yeah, when
happens.
she,
I'm like,
she just knows when people are watching her in the mirror. That's
yeah, and I'm like, oh, please God, don't come through this mirror because I cannot handle that right now.
There's also a nice touch on her like sort of lore. I thought that was neat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
That's how the mirror got broke the first time because she knew.
Yeah. Or it was that the mirror just didn't want to be repaired because he knew
Yeah.
Crane was with Bloody Mary, and it was like Buffkin was like, hey, the mirror's not a fan of Bloody Mary using him as a portal. Like, he feel a little uncomfortable. And I'm like, yeah, I bet it does, because if something came through me, I would be unhappy about it.
Yeah.
But then you see the Broken Man's door is under the bridge in Central Park, which all I know to reference is Cloverfield for that. So like that's all I got. And then you fucking dive through the door, run after it.
And then you see the greatest character ever. As you
Tiny
a
Tim.
grown-up Tiny Tim.
I was like, no, Tiny
little
Tim,
Tiny
no.
Did you guys read his book of fables about him?
Yeah, it's
It was
awesome.
pretty. It was pretty interesting. It was like it gave me more perspective on the fables lore because it was kind of like these fables were actually the fables that humans created, and then and Tiny Tim thinks that because humans think of him as a kid, he will forever be treated as one, which I thought was like an interesting perspective.
Yeah, I like when I say I don't call him Tiny Tim. When I stepped in, I was like, "Oh, sup, Tim? Like, what are you doing here?" And
yeah,
like,
I was like,
I
Tim, what
super
the fuck
nice
do you
to him.
want?
Yeah, and he's happy you don't call him Tiny.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is. But then he ushers you to the door. I'm guessing you guys waited for him.
Mm-hmm.
I did. I'd feel bad if I didn't. Like, he's limping, like, trying.
He's
you let him
trying.
open
This
the door?
is all he can do. This is his one job.
His one job, don't fuck this up for me. I was like, you're
Limp
right.
Back
I'm
and
not
forth
gonna do this.
down an impossibly long hallway.
Yeah.
Did
And
you let him
again,
open the door?
I let him open the door.
I let him open the door.
Oh, I
Yeah.
kicked the door in.
I wanted to, but I was like, I don't want to fuck this up for Tim.
I
He's
didn't even
trying
think
so
about
hard
it.
right
I thought
now.
he just had to escort me to the door, and then I could open it however I wanted.
Well,
I kicked it in.
I listened to the door first, and I heard the Crooked Man talking to some people. It sounded like Jersey, I guess, he was sounding pissed about something. And then I knocked on the door, and then Tiny's like, "Oh no, that's or Tim." He was
Tiny. He would hate you. You're being a dick.
You're being a
like,
dick.
he's like,
You're being a
he's
dick,
like, "That's
guys.
not necessary. Here, I got it." And then he opens the door, and then the Crooked Man's all like, "Thank you."
I have a droopy ass eye.
I have a
Yeah,
droopy
you have
ass
a
eye and
droopy
a
ass eye.
weird, and I have like one elf ear.
Yeah.
I love how the Crooked Man looks. I'm not gonna lie. I think
He's classy.
He's like
Looked like he
weirdly
got a
classy,
bad
but
batch of glamour, and he's like half turned.
Yeah.
He's all melty.
I feel like there's like a reason for it. Maybe
Yeah.
it's because he was crooked through the Crooked Man wheel, but who knows? So then he's like, come sit down. I run this shit. Basically, is the subtone,
Yeah.
What'd you
and
do?
then you have
Tell
the
me you did
options,
it.
and I
you
obviously
did it.
did the most badass option, which is
Yes.
light a cigarette.
Light a cigarette.
I love
did it
like
too.
the editing of lighting a cigarette too. It's
Oh,
like
it's
a
so
quick
perfect.
a quick cut to the lighter, a quick
Just-
cut to the cigarette,
And then it's black.
and then he's just
It's-
looking around and fade to black.
Yeah. Oh, it's so great. Like, how could you not choose
Yeah,
that
exactly.
option?
I think like 97% of people did when I
Yeah.
played.
Yeah,
I was
I
like,
think-
of course you did.
It was like 40% when I played. I'm like, fuck all of you. Like, what are the other options? Like, you can
sit in the
You
chair.
can just
or
sit down, or you
something.
can tell him not to. Yeah, and I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah, it was
Brain
it was
him or something
very
like that.
very reminiscent of The Walking Dead season 1, episode 4, Final Choice, which is a dialogue choice, but you actually don't get to hear the choice until the beginning of episode 5, which I thought was really really
Yeah.
clever. But yeah, what a great ending. Oh,
So were both the Tweedles there for you?
yeah. And
You got-
they
you got-
looked real upset. They looked real scared of me. They were like,
Yeah.
"God, stay away from
Yeah.
me."
Yeah, Tweedledum was not excited.
Yeah,
to
he
see
was
me.
not excited to see me either. Yeah, when we walked in, just
Yeah,
dragged
it was
by his
Jersey.
brother.
Jersey fucking looked pissed as shit. He tried to move to Big B, but the Crooked Man's like, I don't know, calm down. It's gonna be okay.
Who else was there?
I was
George?
looking for my opportunity to punch Georgie again.
Oh, any
Yeah.
chance I get.
Didn't
I-
get
I-
Georgie.
that motherfucker needs to get punched every time I
His
see.
face, just like, I want to get punched. That little
Yes.
fucking tear. And he's just like, I'll give you a real one. No, it was great seeing like that whole gang together and fucking Bloody Mary being a bitch. God,
Oh,
I
yeah.
hate her. But then it cuts to probably the best next time on the Wolf Among Us preview, I think, which is just Bloody Mary's commentary about Big B, with him like kind of walking up in a very intimidating way to a bunch of different characters, ending with him like following Snow White to the witching well, which I thought was really cool. Gave me an idea of episode 5, or at least the idea that I thought it would be going into it. So I'm very, very excited. That is the one that I want to play for sure. I have faith that they'll stick the landing. So I'm just curious into how they're going to wrap it up. So there you go, Wolf Among Us, episode 4. Are you guys pumped? Are you guys excited?
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, episode 5 is gonna be good. I can feel it in my bones.
Yeah, I can feel it in my bones as well. It's just like, even if like only one episode is a little sour out of the 5, that'll still be like a better blow for blow than The Walking Dead season 1, which was really good. So
Yeah, and like Jared said, it's like not like the episode wasn't fun. It just wasn't as fun to experience playing. Like the dialogue
Right.
was still spot on. I thought. And, like,
I had no
It was
real
still
problem with
great.
any story elements. It's just
Yeah.
the gameplay part really
It
wasn't
it
there
wasn't
for
as
me.
fun of
Yeah,
an
they
experience,
didn't they didn't give you a compelling reason why you should be playing this.
Because, as an example, like the difference between the butcher and the pawn shop, the only difference really, I mean, you miss a lot of narrative if you don't go to the pawn shop first, but then you miss names in the
You miss
butcher
this-
if you go there first. But these don't matter. Like there's no
Yeah.
really real effect.
Yeah, it gives you the same effect of this world is run by
Right.
the Crooked Man.
And the important thing that happens, you fighting Jersey, happens either way.
Yeah, for sure. And just like that thing of the what's his face's Crane's coat being in whatever you go to second
Yeah.
just sours that whole thing.
It doesn't matter. Like it's great.
It makes your decisions not matter, and in a game with decisions, that is like literally the worst thing.
Yeah.
Right.
That's kind of like why Walking Dead Season 2 has been so weak. But again, in most cases, the decisions in Wolf Among Us do matter, and most of the decisions are just dialogue options, which do affect how people treat you and think of you. Again, one miss way better than two, which is where Walking Dead is right now.
And there's good promise for a really good end. And
Yeah.
like Walking Dead had two pretty big misses, one pretty good hit, but really no
But it's-
promise
yeah,
about the
and-
next two
Yeah,
episodes.
and The Walking Dead, it's completely up in the air because the villain we thought was going to be the villain all season is already dead.
Yeah.
So like it's completely up in the air of what the fuck are they going to do for the next?
Yeah,
two
now we're back in
episodes.
the woods again, walking
Yeah.
around.
Yeah, it's definitely. I hate to compare the two so frequently, but it is like the point of comparison is necessary. I think, just because they are the same style of game, and they're the only two of those style of game out right now.
And they run parallel from
Yeah.
from the same place. It's kind of hard to.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard not to compare them. But yeah, I think that wraps it up. That's The Wolf Among Us, Episode 4, and Walking Dead Season 2, Episode 3. Spoiled sufficiently for you. We will
Oh, yeah.
we will be reviewing them and playing the forthcoming episodes. Jacob, you get to review two
Oh,
things
damn.
soon.
Yeah, I get to review episode 4 and episode 5.
You get to you get to review
to
the
review
ultimate episode of The Wolf Among Us.
Tight. That's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, pressure's
That's good.
on. I think there might be room for a general review of the season,
Oh yeah, someone else
which I'm sure Jarrett will end up doing.
can do that.
because
you
that's
reviewed
just-
the other 4.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think I've reviewed 3 of them at least. I think I have
Yeah.
a perspective here.
I reviewed episode 3 and
I reviewed episode 1. I edited your episode 1. So.
yeah. So that's 2 for 2 on both of us. So. Yeah, there we go. We are fans of both of these episodes of these seasons of these things. So, thank you for watching, guys, and of course, check irrationalpouch.com to see those reviews, the written reviews of both from our very own Jarrett Green and I always want to say Jarrett John because
Sure.
I think
It's
that's
fine.
your name.
Branding. There it is.
Yeah, there's a branding. You can follow each of us on Twitter. I'm at AlFighter27. Jarrett is at Jarrett John, all one word. Jacob's at JacobB41. I'm getting it. I'm getting the hang of it.
Look at that.
Yeah, there's plenty more stuff on irrationalpatches.com, so go check it out. Thank you for watching, guys.